How are you doing?
Can you see us? Can you hear us?
Give us a quick response, maybe. Hello, hello, Sai. What's up?
Yes, we
Jignish
can.
is here.
Jignish.
Very nice.
Oh, the big guy. Let's go.
Let's go, guys. All right, very nice. I just gotta save. Like, I have zero space on my PC left, so I just gotta clear it out real quick, and then I'm going to share my screen instantly. If you have anything you want to talk about today specifically, then just type in the chat right now, and then I can go over it. But maybe we're going to wait a couple of minutes till everybody's here, and then we can start today's live call. All right. I'm just going to quickly delete my cache, and then we can start. Hello, man. Indrani. I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Let's just wait 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we are instantly going to start. Like I said, if you have anything specific you want to talk about today, just give me a quick topic. I need to ask how you created the video you upload on your Instagram. Ah, I know what you mean, man. Yeah, I did that in After Effects. So, thank you very much, Rob. Thank you very much. But that's that's not going to be the call then today. Wait, why do I have so much temporary data on my PC? That makes no sense. All right, but I don't care. All right, hello, man. Hello, Himi. Hope you're doing well. Hi, it's my first video call here. Is this call just about DaVinci or Blender 2? No, this call is just about Fusion in DaVinci Resolve. Um, do we have a Blender call?
We are working on it. There will be Blender and also After Effects, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But it's just since like we'll be in the process of with new launch like
All right.
Motion Creator 2.0.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Nice. All right. Very cool. Yeah. So there will be a Blender
yeah, that
call.
will be for sure. Yeah,
All right. Very nice.
just need some time. Please, guys, be patient. That's all.
Perfect. All right. Then I'm just going to show real quick what we're going to do today, and then we can instantly jump right into Fusion. I've talked about this, I think, like 3 months ago in a call, but I think a lot of people uh, liked the call or found that it was very interesting. And since I know that there are a lot of new people, I thought it would be a cool idea to just redo it for everybody who's new. I'm just going to show you quick what we're going to do today, and then we're just going to start. Uh, all right. So maybe a lot of you probably know Zutox. He's a very good video editor, and probably some of you have seen this video from him. And what I did today was basically just recreating this whole animation inside of DaVinci Resolve. So I'm just going to show you my. Oh man, I'm looking so weird, but this is my version of it. Everything just inside of Fusion, and we're just going to do exactly that in today's live call. We can maybe activate the audio so it makes sense. All right, can you show how to make smooth bounce effect in Fusion? Yeah, that's a problem because the bounce effect, like there is one plugin which you can use for a smooth bounce effect in DaVinci Resolve. You can do it with an expression. I don't have it here. I have to look it up. Um, but we don't have something like Bounce R like we have in After Effects, which really sucks. But there is one plugin which you can use. I just forgot the name of it, but I can look it up and then post it later on in the school community after we did this tutorial. All right. So then I would say let's jump right into Fusion, and I'm just going to make my little breakdown. And if you can follow along, or if you have any other specific questions, then just let me know. Um, just to give me a quick overview, guys, maybe just type in chat how advanced you are in Fusion, and how deep I should go into the explanation. So yeah, that I know like how much to the basics I should explain everything. Maybe just give me a quick response and then we're instantly going to start. Alright, he's using DaVinci Fusion for 2 years. That's a long time.
Damn, that's very good. What about the rest? Come on, guys. Jignish I use After Effects.
Alright.
You're on the wrong call, bro.
Yeah. What are you doing here, man? Alright, then I'm going to just make a
Be a
rough
little bit
breakdown.
advanced, just a little bit.
Alright, then I'm not going to explain every small basic details, but I'm just going to explain what I did in general. Alright, so on the left side you can see my 3D viewer, on the right side you can see my 2D part. So my 2D part, or my 2D viewer is my media out, and my 3D viewer is my merge 3D1, so so you can follow along. Yeah, just in general, real quick, I've made a 3D scene to give it this cool camera animation, which you can see. Oh, it's very laggy because I upgraded the DaVinci Resolve version it was in, and now it's very laggy. But you can see the camera movement was going from forwards to backwards, then to the right, then to the right. Oh man, it's so laggy. And then in the end, it's going closer again. So that's what the camera movement basically did. So we have our basic 3D node tree. So we have a renderer 3D to render out all of our 3D data. Then we have our merge 3D, where our camera 3D1 is merged into, so that we can see our camera, of course. And then we have a lot of transform 3Ds, which are all of the different animations for the camera movements. So they have like a smooth transitioning in between them. This is really, really important if you want to have your transitions like ultra smooth. And then I have those image plane 3Ds, which are all going into merge 3Ds, because those image plane 3Ds are basically just displaying the 2D information in the 3D space, so it's visible for us in the 3D camera. Yeah, so that's basically what it's doing. All right, so then the first little node tree we have here is the image plane with the white background. So that's just the very big background, and what I did was basically just adding a background node, setting the color to white, and then I just increased the size of the image plane to the max. You can set it to 5. If you want to have it bigger, you can just type something, so for example 10, and then it even gets bigger. All right. Next thing I was doing then was adding my first part of the animation, which was this, hey, I'm Dennis, and then this sliding out with the border, and then going to the right, and it turns a little bit purplish. Can you see that here? Yep, you can see that here. All right. So what I did was first just having my media, my normal media, so the video I just recorded. You can use any media you want there. And then I had a rectangle mask, which I just put around my subject. And my camera was very, very near to my subject in the beginning, or very near to the video, so you weren't able to see the rounded corners or the rounded edges. So I basically just faked the rounded edges coming in and just did a camera backwards movement. So that's what I basically did here. You can see here the settings that I had for my rectangle. So my corner radius was about 0.2. And yeah, next thing I did then was adding the two texts. So I had this hey, and then I'm Dennis. In order to do that, you can just hit Shift Spacebar and type in text, or you can just go into this little hotbar and grab your text and drag it into your viewport. And then I typed in hey for the hey, of course. I went to the beginning and set the right on effect to like around 0.04 so that you can still see the age, because the original video started as well with already the age visible, and I just wanted to recreate it really well. And then I went a couple frames forward and set all right. Oh my God, this is a really big problem with Riverside, because the chat is not moving down. And okay, I have zero idea what all of you wrote. Okay, I have a fair idea about basics. I just having issues with some specific things like how to make this and that. All right, I understand. How's it going with shortcut?
Joey,
It's going very
yeah,
well.
Joey's like, can we do this animation without hopping onto 3D space?
Um, yeah, you could do it. It would just be a big pain. It would, because then you would have to not just animate everything, all of these small animations, but you would have to, whoa, but then you would have to animate everything moving to the left side all of the time. And I think it's just way easier to do everything in 3D space. Like there's no reason for not doing that.
Hemi is asking, can we make depth of field effect in DaVinci 3D camera like in After Effects?
I know that there's a way. You can go into your render of 3D. I usually don't use it because it's like very difficult for your PC. But I know that there is a there is a option. Um, but I'm not using it so often. I can just look it up real quick, or I can look it up after the call and send a video. But wait, 3D camera field DaVinci Resolve. Alright, so I just found a tutorial. You can just I think I watched that one. I'm not so sure about it though. But here's the link. Alright, so let's just move on maybe. Hey, next animation was I'm Dennis, so I basically did the exactly same. So I was just adding another text, text plus node. I went to the inspector, typed in my text, changed the font to SF Pro Display. This is the basic font for Apple. And then I was going to the right on effect, and when at the start of my animation, or where I wanted to animation to start, I've set the right on effect to the beginning, or like to around 0, and then in the end to 100, so, or to 1, so that it has this cool type on effect. All right. Next thing I was doing then, because I already animated the camera 3D, which you can see here. One thing I would really recommend to you guys is really dragging out those curves. You can see it here, because if you just hit S, it will look like this, and this is not really smooth. So you really gotta drag out those curves to really have this amazing smooth feeling. All right. Next, so we can see right here that this animation is around like 50 frames long, and the next animation, which is this sliding to the right animation, is starting before the other animation is ending. And this is because if you wouldn't do that, then it would stop at a point and then go on, and it wouldn't look very fluidly. So we just want to blend in both of those animation. So then we have this camera movement which is panning to the right side, and we can see on the screen that um, there's like a purple background appearing over my video. And what I did was basically just adding a background. I've set the color to like this pinkish, and then I was just copy and pasting the rectangle from my normal media clip and pasted it onto my background 5, and then you're able to see, and then I animated the blend mode on the merge. So I was just going to around frame 70, and then I was, yeah, just keyframing between 70 and 100. And then I have this little purple background appearing over my main video to isolate it a little bit more, and to give the focus a little bit more to the logo, which is popping up in the next step. All right, then let's just move on. In the next step,
Hemi has a question.
yes.
How to ideate, like at what lines and words what we graphics comes?
Uh, how to what? How to I? I think I didn't really understood the question, man. Can you maybe?
Me too, honestly.
Can
Me
you maybe
too.
or ask ChatGPT if maybe I don't know. Or do you mean like how to have an ideation process of what animation you want to create or what text you want to create? Is that your question? Like a storyboard. All right. So my secret source is Pinterest. I almost have it up all of the time. You can just go on Pinterest and then you can create different graphics inspiration boards. One thing that you can always type in is just, oh, it's lagging right now. Wait. Uh-oh. Can you still hear me, Jinglish? No, not Jinglish, man. I'm stupid. Hello?
Hemi.
Can you still hear me?
I can
Hello?
still hear you.
Alright, okay. Then maybe just my. Alright. But one thing I would really recommend to all of you guys is Pinterest because you can get a lot of very good ideas. And then what I'm always doing is just creating those Figma boards. Um, and then just collecting all of the ideas. And then you can get a creative workflow for yourself. And then what I also like to do is having always a note block in front of me so that if an idea comes to your mind, you can just write it down really, really rough. And that's how I basically make the and that's basically how I make the storyboards for my edits. Got it perfectly. Very nice. All right. So, and next step we have this image plane and we have this background which is connected to it. This is because we always need a media in order to have those subnode trees in between them. And if I go to the background, you can see that it's set on black with an alpha to 0, so that it's basically just see-through. All right, then I added the text with founder off. So what I did was basically just writing the text in both of those different text nodes. I set the font to SF Pro Display with bold, and then I went into the merge node and I keep all right, and then I keyframed the blend mode from it. So in the merge node, I then keyframed the blend mode at the point where I wanted them to pop into the video. And then the next thing I did was animating this icon. And what I did was basically just adding a subnode tree again with a multi-merge node. So I have this background which is going into multi-merge. Is this useful for After Effects users or not? Right now, this is a DaVinci Resolve Fusion call, so, um, I mean, because like I can do both programs or I can work in both programs. You can argue that it helps you if you understand DaVinci Resolve, to learn After Effects faster. But if you have zero experience with DaVinci Resolve, then this call is probably not the right one for you. Like I mean, when we talked about the ideation and stuff, of course, but this specifically, um, I mean, it all works very similar in After Effects, but just with layers. If you can translate it in your mind, then it can make sense. All right. So I did here the subnode tree with the background again with the color to black and the alpha to 0, and then I was adding this little background from the icon. So I just added a background with a gradient. So you can just click on your background, click on type, and change it from solid to gradient. So I did a very slight and subtle gradient and added then a rectangle mask to make exactly the shape that I wanted to have. And in the next step, I've just added the logo. It's just a PNG that I found from the internet, and then I animated the scale or the size of it so that it's just popping up. Maybe we can see it. All right, so that it's just popping up in this moment. All right, So next thing you can see is that this confetti is or gets boosted into the scene, and this is very very simple. What I did was basic. Yeah, I got it. Good luck, buddy. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Um, so what I basically just did for this confetti explosion was adding an image plane, and then I was adding this confetti overlay that I found from Envato Elements. I can really recommend it to every one of you. It's 30 euros a month, and it's like you can find everything in there. You have music, you have stock footage, you have overlays, and so on. So I would really recommend it to you. And you can get a lot of good asset packs. Like it's like insane. So then I just went into the image plane and I organized it so that it's at the exact right position. And I went into my media to see or to set the start and the ending point of the animation. And then I already had this very, very cool. Yeah, confetti explosion. All right, then I had the next camera movement, which was then panning to the right again to this scene. And what I did here was, it looks very complex, but it's very simple. So I just added an image plane with a background again to have my basic node tree. Then I added a multi-merge for all of the stuff on the top, so for all of this, and for all of the stuff on the bottom. Yeah, I did it just on the main node tree, and what I did was then basically just first of all adding the logo, so you can see it right here. Oh no, what I was doing was I was going to Twitter and then I took a screenshot of everything, and then so you can see if I delete the mask you can see the Twitter post, and I was basically just masking out all of the different parts. So you can see here I have this one, and here here I have this one, here I have the logo, here I have this little text, here I have the video, here I have this likes and share, and here I have my background of me where I'm talking again. So very very simple, and I've just added a lot of masks to those different screenshots, and then I animated everything on the transform. I can just go over it real quick. So what I was doing was doing very long animations again, and if you can, or we're going to into spline tool real quick. Very long animations with like extreme curves so that it is very very smooth in the end and that it looks like perfect. And then I was doing this for okay, this is the logo, so I didn't animate it, but then I was doing it for like every other part that I just masked out. All right, and then you can see in the end that this thing is moving up, like the background is moving up. And what I was doing then there was just, because you can see that those two clips are transitioning in between them. So I was just having the clip of me with this mask, and then what I was doing was basically just recreating the animation from the first clip where it's like moving upwards to, or like getting bigger, to this clip. And then I was just masking or like trying to match the animation. You can see it's not like 100% perfect, but nobody's recognizing it when watching your video. And I was then just animating the blend mode and keyframing it. What font is it? I think I said it like a couple times. It's SF Pro Display. It's SF Pro Display. And then this was basically how I did this animation. At the end, I had the transform 3D for the camera, which was then moving back in. But yeah, that was how I did it. Perfectly. All right. So, do you have any questions, guys? Do you have any specific topics? Do you want to talk about anything as well? Because this was it for the breakdown for today. Maybe just give me a very quick feedback so that I know if we should talk about something or if I should finish this call off. Can I share a video to ask? Yeah, sure. Of course, man. Do you want to send a link in or do you want to screen share? Link, just a moment. Alright. Hi, hello, man. How are you doing? I missed the beginning. Any replay? Yeah, so there will be a replay. You will be able to just rewatch the recording from the live call. Yes, so in the moment we're just waiting for him to send in the link so that we can analyze his video. If you want to share anything, then you can just say it, or if you have any specific topic you want to talk about, then we can do that as well. Okay, can we recreate this effect in frames in Fusion? Alright. Let's go, man. Yeah, so this is not very complicated. Okay, so this is not very complicated. You're easily able to recreate this. What you basically just gotta do, or maybe I can show it real quick. So what you basically just gotta do is adding, of course, a Fusion comp, then your 3D setup, and then a background, of course. Hello. Maybe we can set it to white, and then we should also change the aspect ratio. Alright. And then this is very simple. So what we have here is basically just a rectangle. So I'm just going to do it very, very rough, but so you get an idea of what I'm trying to show you. So first thing is just it's just the red line, which is going like this. It's red or reddish. This grayish look I'm not getting. Grain. Yeah, so you could just add a grain. So that's the thing you could do. what you can also do is going into the internet and type in or look for a grain overlay. So that's something you could do as well. Maybe we're going to duplicate this real quick. Then I'm going to change the color of it to red. Then we have this inner line. Where's the video again? Oh no, I lost it. So just add a grain, or I would add. You can also just add an overlay. But I think the next shape was just a triangle, which was going from here to here. So you just gotta work yourself up with simple shapes. You every time you see a scene like this, you just gotta break it down into simple scenes. And in this case, the next thing we would do here is adding this triangle, and then we need characters. And what we would do with them is basically just take the character, film them from the correct angle, and then we would add them and add a color corrector to them, set the saturation to 0 so that they are black and white. We can also add something like a soft glow or dream glow to them to make them glow, and then we basically just have this effect already. So it's very simple actually. Could you get what I mean? Or where like, yes, all right, very nice. You always just gotta break your scenes down into very simple, very simple shapes and strokes. Could you show us the graph curves you use the most and what do they do? So I think you can't just say what graphs do you use the most. It's a little bit like asking someone who's very good at math, like which calculation he is using the most, because it's always like really dependent on what you're doing right now. But in general, there aren't much curves to really choose from, and the go-to curves that you're almost using every time is just, so we have an in, we have an out, so then we're going backwards. It's just a very smooth ending and a very smooth beginning. That's the graph you're probably going to use 99% of the time. It is way too fast. Just gotta make the keyframes longer. So now it's very smooth. You just really gotta drag those curves out. That's really important. But I mean, a curve like this is like, you don't use it 99% of the time, because like then it wouldn't be very smooth. If you would start the animation in the middle of the scene, it would look like this then. This would look just off. So 99% of the time it's just slow in the beginning and then slow in the end. So you have, yeah, so that's basically what I can say to that. But you really have to see in which scenery you're in, or which scenery you're working right now, and all of that. All right. Can you show how to create speed ramp effect in Fusion Page? Is it worth the effort doing it in Fusion Page? Um, I'm usually doing it in a mix between the Fusion page and the editing page. So I don't know if I have a good video right now. Um, oh, this will be so laggy though. Mm. All right, let's try to open it. No, that's not the correct one. Shit. I don't know if I can still find it. With speed ramping, do you just mean like going from very fast to very smooth, or you mean like those car edits where it's like also tracked on one point? Because like speed ramping, I wouldn't even go into Fusion. But if you want to have it like tracked to one position, then I would do it. maybe just normal speed ramp is okay in edit. Yeah, of course. So maybe uh I don't think I think I did this in Fusion though, but I have to pull up a project. Ah, all right, here. So, for example, we have here this volleyball edit. Uh, wait, where? So here, for example, you can see that's very slow in the beginning, and then it gets fast. So that's very, very simple. But for smoother, smaller movements, speed ramp is okay. But for smoother, smaller movements. But for camera movements, like zooming into car name. All right, but then you need tracking. So then you have camera movement locked on or something. What you're going to do then, usually, oh, I need one clip to explain it because I don't have a good one right here. No, I think here's one. Maybe. Let's pray. Ah, perfect. Very nice. I love to see that, man. This is amazing. Oh, wait, maybe we have. All right, all right, all right, all right. We can work with that. All right. So, for example, what I did here was first going. You can do it in next class too. Yeah, yeah, but I can just explain very quick because it's not that difficult. So usually you have your normal clip speed. In this case, it's already a Fusion comp, so you can't see it anymore. But what I did was basically just hitting Control R on my keyboards. Then this menu is popping up, and then you go to the point where you want to be, or to where it should be faster and slower. So for example, I want this part in the beginning to be very fast. Then you can just click on this little drop down, hit at speed point, and then you can just drag it down. Then it's faster in the beginning, or you can also just drag it out and then it gets slower. When it gets slower or slowed down a lot, then you should go into the inspector. Then you can go into retime and scaling. You should same the retime process to optical flow to enhance better the motion estimation, and then the resize filter to smoother to like make it like a lot smoother. All right. And if you have done all of that, normally you should go into the hello. Okay, we can't go into curves because we did nothing. Retime curve. Where's curves? Where are my curves? Where are my curves? Man, what's going on? Maybe because it's a Fusion clip. I have no idea. Because usually, maybe you can see it here. We can return controls, enable clip speed. Normally it's here. Am I tripping? What's going on?
Maybe because they are in the Fusion, as you said.
No, but normally you can see it here. But maybe because it's of the new update, I have zero idea. Sometimes they just change things up. Usually you have a graph editor. Probably it's going to be right here then, right? Yeah, all right. Um, so then you can see in this the retime speed. Can I now then pop this out, or like how is this working? I've never, like, the new version just came out and I have zero idea how it works. Can I now open it in a graph editor or something like? Can I just click on it and how is this working? Because usually you were just able to right click and then you could add a curve. I'm just going to prepare it for the next call because I've never used the new DaVinci Resolve version. I just got it. Maybe here? No. Alright. Keyframe editor. Perfect. Alright. I have zero idea what I've just clicked, but now we have a keyframe editor. And here you can go into your retime speed, and then you should just drag out this curve to make the transition between the fast part and the slow part better. Edit page is clear to me, but the Fusion page is one difficult. All right. But Fusion is very simple because if you like, I would always do the speed ramp in the edit page, and then you can go into then you should hit right click, click on new Fusion, click a clip, and what you should do then when, all right, we can maybe just do it real quick. New Fusion clip. The only thing you gotta do then is create a tracker, which is tracking a point then of your. Okay, I don't like the entirely tracker, but it's alright. Maybe let's track this right here. Both directions. Oh man, my rent. Oh, what's going on with DaVinci Resolve, man? Sometimes I just hate the program. Why can't I render? Because, okay, so what you would usually do if your DaVinci Resolve is not like trying to kill you. Okay, now my DaVinci Resolve is crashing, great. But what you would usually do is just add a tracker, and then you would click on the target that you want, and then you would track it forwards and backwards, and then you gotta click on operation and set it to background only, and then you will see that it's like perfectly locked on stabilization. You just gotta add another transform and zoom in into your video, and then yeah, everything is fine. And then you have your keyframing with stabilization and tracking, and that's how I would do it. What's going on here? All right, let's close the program. Okay, got the steps. Perfect, man. That's good. All right. Do we have any other questions? Because if not, Classic Fusion.
Fusion.
But what's the question?
No, he was just saying Classic Fusion, that's all.
Ah, alright. Okay, Classic Fusion, it's crashing.
Yeah.
I understand, man. Alright, yeah. True. True.
No more questions, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5,
1.25.
1, half, quarter, 0.
Alright. Alright, guys. Then have a very good week. I hope I can see you in the next call again. I wish you a very nice day. See you next call. Goodbye, guys.
See you guys.